Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Farizuan Hakimi by Shafizan, ED5903C, Education in Mathematics. Look at this picture. What do you think this is? I'm sure you're thinking to yourself that this is a small and possibly underdeveloped country. This is Iceland with a population of 370,000 people but ranks 39 in the world football rankings. Iceland is a small country in continental Europe and football is now a national sport there, unlike in some countries such as England and Spain. However, in 2016, this country stunned the football world by qualifying for the European Championship quarter-final. They also astonished England, a major of footballing nation, on the round of 16. Surprisingly, the bulk of the players who represent Iceland are semi-professional. Some are doctors, teachers by day, but they represent their country in the event. Let's take a look at our own country, Malaysia. In Malaysia, football is the most popular sport in our country with a population of 32 million people. But what's surprisingly is that our country is placed 153 in world ranking, far behind other Southeast Asian countries like Vietnam and Philippines. What's most upsetting for Malaysian football fans is how our country has fallen from 75 to 178 place in 25 years. Countries that were formerly ranked lower than Malaysia have continued to advance and flourish. For example, in the 1970s, Malaysia easily defeated Japan, but now Japan is ranked 28 in the world and has qualified for the World Cup on numerous occasions. So, what an issue we have got here. Why is our country progress lagging behind that of other nations? What are the elements that have led to the current state of our national football and national team? So, there are several factors that led to this problem. First, involvement of politicians in the Malaysian football industry. Politicians in Malaysia is regarded are inseparable in clubs. The role of president will be held by the majority of politicians in the club. When politicians join a club, they are primarily concerned with short-term planning and have no long-term plans. This is due to the fact that most politicians primarily think about surviving the current season. This is because they are in danger of missing out on the next season. If the politician's party loses the majority and is replaced by another party, he or she may lose position in the club. As a result, the politician believes that making a long-term investment is not worthwhile because he will be unable to take the credits for the proceeds of the investment if he loses his position in the club. When a club or a football organisation does not have a long-term plan, the club or organisation will face a variety of issues and the organisation growth will be restricted. Second is the weak development program. Our country's football development system lacks a clear methodology and set of objectives. For example, the Mokhtar Dari Academy, AMD. When players at this academy complete their term and graduate, they have no clear direction or plan for the future. In February 2020, a total of 34 AMD Academy graduates do not have clubs. Thankfully, several Academy graduates have been hired by Selangor FC and JDT FC. However, there are still graduates who do not have teams to play professionally. They also had to find their own club, and if they fail, they will have to abandon their football careers. If this occurs, it will be extremely negative because the expense of a player's education at an academy is so high. It is not only to the loss of the particular organisation that funds the academy, but it is also to the detriment of the country because Malaysian football has lost a promising future. Next is state-based league system. Malaysia is the only country in the world with a state-based sports league system, and its impact can be seen in the current state of our football ranking. For example, Germany same as Malaysia, has 14 states and a federal structure, has a city and district-based league system. Across terms of talent, scouting and revenue production for the local economy, the dispersion of clubs and location in European countries have given them an advantage which cannot be seen in Malaysia. For example, we can see the city of Liverpool, Manchester, or Amsterdam, Rotterdam. Between the cities, the distance is approximately Taipei to Ipoh or Klang to Rawang. Fans do not have to travel far to see the game at the opponent's arena. When there are matches in their respective areas, little community outside of the state capital might produce their own revenue, adding to the local economy. Because of the economic benefits that football clubs bring to the local economy, local companies will be more supportive of their area club financially, such as through sponsorship or volunteer labour. So, what we need to do to solve this issue? First, appoint qualified people to crucial roles in the national football industry. Individual with understanding and experience of the sport of football should be appointed by the party involved. For example, they can appoint retired football players and those who have certificates in sport management and football. When a qualified person is assigned to the highest position in the football team structure, the team's preparation and mission can be properly planned. For example, when a retired player is appointed, he is familiar with the team's and players' need. He was able to put this previous experience as an active player to good use. Second is establishing a league system based on cities and counties. New clubs based in cities and districts such as Rawang FC, Ipoh United and Seremban City FC will emerge as a result of this change. Quantities that increase indicator of qualities. We estimate that the Malaysian League now has 700 or 800 players of C quality. The struggle for a spot in the national squad is becoming more difficult as the league grows to 3,000, 4,000 players. From there, we can be confident that we will uncover quality B players and that quality A players will emerge as well. How many local players are there in the top league when there are 20 clubs? Indirectly, we may observe how domestic-based players compete in elite leagues in other countries. This will also boost the number of pool players and raise the national squad's quality. Lastly is restructuring the National Football Development Programme. This reformation is critical since these young players are the future of national football. Every club in Malaysia could be required by the Malaysian Football Association (FM) to have its own academy. Our country will never be short of young talents thanks to the academies of each of these teams. Furthermore, FM should establish a league for the academy so that every trainee can compete in order to have competitive match. These young players can improve their skills and strengthen their thinking by participating in this league. FM can also collaborate with international leagues to help these young players further their careers in other countries. When a large number of young players participate in international leagues that we know are highly competitive, it can help our country compete with better countries since we have very talented future prospects and have already gained experience dealing with European players and other players. So, imagine that what will happen to our football industry and national team if we do nothing. Let me tell you what's going to happen. If no reforms are made or no effective steps are implemented, our football industry will continue to lag behind and be overtaken by nations such as Vietnam and Thailand. Our national team will also continue to fall behind in the rankings, failing to qualify for major tournaments like the Asian Cup and the Olympic Games. Talented young players will also be gone if our country does not take the necessary steps to improve. If there is not a suitable platform to demonstrate his talent, these promising young players may have to abandon his football careers. Of course, this will be to our country's and national team detriment. Look what possibly will happen if do not take any action towards our national and football industry. As a conclusion, as a Malaysian and supporters of national football, we hope that the parties concerned can do more to address the problems and issues that the national team is experiencing. We do not want to watch our neighboring countries such as Indonesia and Thailand continue to progress while our own country remains stagnant. We anticipate that our country will regain its footing and be able to compete with countries that were formerly rivals such as Korea and Japan. Finally, regardless of whether we win or lose, all Malaysians should continue to support our national team, continue to be the country 12th player.